Hey guys, my name is Kayla and I'm a full-time traveling graphic designer. And today I'm going to be talking about how I made over $93,000 in revenue selling digital downloads on Etsy in just 1 year. So, the 5 top tips based on my experience making nearly 100K annually that I'm about to share with you in this video is based on my most viewed blog post that actually garnered the attention of Business Insider. In November of 2022, I partnered with Insider to republish these tips, and today I want to pass those on to you. So here's how I grew my Etsy shop to make $93,000 in a year after being in business for only 2 years, and how I've consistently hit the same metrics, if not better, year after year beyond that. Okay, before I get into all of the details, I wanted to take a quick second to fact check. I personally value integrity and being transparent, especially within the online space where it's so easy to fabricate and sell the idea of something without any concrete backing. So it's important to me to not only tell you the possibilities of making an income from selling digital downloads online, but also showing you from my own metrics and statistics that it's indeed possible. So, as you can see, from January to December 2020 on the Etsy platform alone, I made $93,534.21 for that year. I accomplished this with over 400,000 visitors, nearly 5,500 orders, and with a 1.2% conversion rate. Also, if you look at this graph, you'll see that I had a few bumps in my trend line throughout the year, especially during the summer months and during the new year, which are normal seasonal peaks for my business, but I stayed pretty consistent throughout the year. Now, I've had a few people reach out and ask me about my current income, and as per some legal advice, I don't display my most recent income anymore. But I will say that I have been able to remain consistent with hitting similar metrics since this point in time. Okay, so I've made this money by selling on Etsy, but how exactly did I do it? Well, first things first, the work you put in determines the results you get out of it. So I know that the internet has kind of glamorized the whole make a full-time income while only working 3 hours a week narrative. But if you start off with the intent of putting mediocre effort in, then you're definitely going to get mediocre results. On what I've experienced, all of the heavy duty work is going to fall right between the time you launch to well after you make your first 1,000 sales, because there's a lot of setting up, analyzing, scratching projects just to start all over, and serious grunt work that you have to get through in order to see that level of success in your shop. So, the more time and effort you put towards your business in the beginning, the sooner you can kick your feet up a little bit. My next tip to creating a successful digital product shop is to create a plan and to stick with it. This one really hits home for me, and I still have to slap myself across the wrist sometimes to avoid doing this. So, what I mean by creating a plan, I don't mean to be super organized and meticulous with your work. What I actually mean is if you keep starting and stopping strategies inconsistently, you're not going to get anywhere. You absolutely have to commit to one, maybe two, sometimes three shop building strategies for a long period of time to see results. And if you don't get those results or you got results you weren't expecting, wipe your hands clean and move on to the next thing. So for me, going through nonstop trial and error because I wasn't getting any instant gratification with my results is what took me so long to build my first shop. I started with social media, but I wasn't getting followers after posting for like a week. So then I wanted to create an email list, but you can't have an email list without a website, so I thought. So I built a website. And then I felt like to have an email list, you needed a blog. Why? I don't quite know. So I started a blog, and then all of a sudden I was in the middle of creating an online course. I don't know exactly what I was thinking. I never gave myself enough time to sit with one strategy long enough so I could actually see anything flourish into something that could remotely work for my business. I was just seeking instant gratification, which I see a lot of new sellers do. So overall, the most important thing to remember here is that when it comes to building a business, you have to do a whole lot of one thing before you actually see an impact in your shop. Next, I would advise you to not be afraid to invest, and this is a huge one for me. I receive emails all the time of sellers who just don't want to pour any money into their business because they're either afraid it's going to be a waste of money, or they might not get a return, or they haven't made any money yet, so they don't want to cover additional expenses, and so on and so forth. And every single time I'm like, no, don't fall into that trap of this grand illusion that it takes no money to make money. I completely understand that everyone has a budget, and I would never encourage anyone to go beyond their means if it's going to negatively impact their personal finances. But in the same breath, I think it's absolutely limiting to the elevation of a business and standing out from competitors if you don't invest something into either yourself or your actual business. You cannot be afraid to invest into your business. You can't make money if you don't spend it. And of course, I'm not a CPA or anything of the sort, so please try to make good investments. And also, please know this doesn't have to be a large investment at all. This can be as little as purchasing a font on Creative Market so your products stand out from your competitors, or investing into elevating your branding with a new logo or a brand photo shoot. Or it could even be a printer, so you have the ability to print out your products before you sell them so you can catch any quality issues before your customers do. So I say all of that to say, if you're able to responsibly invest into your dream, then don't let money be what holds you back, because the point is to get your money back and then some. Okay, moving on, another tip I have is to listen to your customers. Now, here's a little secret that I swear by to this day. Every single new item that I have implemented into my shop has come from the concerns and questions that my customers and target market has brought to me. Every single one. And on top of that, every single item that I created out of the blue for no reason at all completely flopped. They don't sell, or they sell very little. So I absolutely stand by this statement. The only people who know what they want are your customers. They know what they want even better than you do. Of course, you can try to guess, but why do that when you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth? So my rule of thumb is, if I start to get a ton of questions about the same things, I make a mental note that this is something that there's a demand for that other sellers, including me, are not fulfilling. So listen to your customers' questions and their concerns. If you get some feedback in your reviews, don't brush them off. Really analyze what the customer's issues were and figure out if you can tweak your product or even create an entirely new product out of it. And lastly, always analyze, adjust, and grow. I encourage you to continue to grow even when you don't think you need to. Etsy and even the internet in general is continuously growing and expanding, and you're going to have competitors with new and fresh ideas popping up left and right, trends coming and going, and you have to be prepared to adjust and move with your market. If you're unwilling to change anything about your shop because you're set in your belief that it's fine the way it is, then you're completely limiting yourself for growth. I sort of have this obsessive way of thinking that makes me never settle for less. The way I see it is, even if it's fine, it could always be better. So play around with your photo angles, add different variations to your product, do some A/B testing, audit your shop in the most unbiased perspective as possible, and find something that can be altered for better results. Trust me, you'll be thanking yourself later. That's it, you guys. That's all there is to it. I really hope you found something in this video that you could resonate with. I really wanted to give you a transparent insight into what it was like running my shop and building it to where it is today. And the tips I've shared are some of the main mindset changes that I've made over the past 4 years. And if you're interested in learning about how to successfully sell digital products on an Etsy shop or even on your own website, please check out our free ebook down below in the description. It goes into a lot more depth on the types of digital products to sell, how to actually create digital products, selling strategies, and everything in between to get your business up and launched. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope you stay a while. Until next time.